Up here. Good evening, everybody. This is Huge Pop Entertainment, and things are heating up on the Huge Pop Entertainment tonight. We're joined by the fire starter himself, Sabino Blaze. Tonight, the heat is on. He's the Flame of Texas, an exotic world champion. Get ready for stories, passion, and pure wrestling energy. Sabrino brings to the Blaze, to the mic. Don't miss it. This is going to be a real hot. Welcome to the show, Sabino Blaze. I'm really looking forward to hearing some of your stories. Thank you, Rudy, for being part of the Huge Pop Entertainment team. Rudy and I are going to bounce some questions off to you, and we're going to go from there. We're going to go hour. I don't care as long as it takes to get your story out there. Our goal at Huge Pop Entertainment is to give the indie wrestlers the platform to share their stories along with some legends that come on the show. So, you ready to go, Rudy?
I'm ready.
Ready to go. All right. So the first question I ever ask anybody that comes on this show is because I want to hear what it was like as a kid, teenager, or whatever, growing up, and what you watch for wrestling. Did you enjoy wrestling or just not at all?
For me, when I was younger, honestly, I was not a fan of pro wrestling until a few of my neighborhood friends would invite me over, and their older brothers would watch WWF at the time, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and they would always have get-togethers, and I would be invited, and they would have everybody sit and watch these wrestling matches that would go on. To me, I didn't know what it was. I just saw a bunch of guys fighting until I saw women get on. And for some reason, for me, in my little gay world, to me, those are like my Barbie dolls. So I would watch women's wrestling, and that's what attracted me to pro wrestling. And I became a fan following the women's division at the time.
Who was your favorite women's wrestler?
Uh, Medusa, Alundra Blaze, she was one that caught my eye. Um, a lot of stuff that she did in the ring, it was unique, it was different. A lot of guys that were on TV at the time, I I was I would follow like Tatanka and Triple H, but then she would come on every seldomly. Like she was on a little bit, and I stayed watching her, and because of what she did in the ring, that's what attracted me to pro wrestling to begin with. So I
Wow,
became a fan right after that.
that's cool. Yeah, Rudy, you're up.
So, so I pretty much have asked through the years, Sabino, all the questions that I want to know. But I guess, um, just can you share with everybody your experience on on being from the LGBTQ community and how you bring that to the table to your wrestling stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. So with that, from the very beginning when I started training, to me, I wasn't sure if I was gonna express myself the way that I wanted. Um, Before pro wrestling, I expressed myself amongst other gay friends. So when I decided to join pro wrestling, to me, I mean, it's a macho man sport. You could see a lot of it was just nothing but men, big bulky men. And then here I am wanting to be a pro wrestler because of what I saw from women. I didn't know how I was gonna express myself. So when I joined the school and began to get to know Rudy, Rudy allowed me to quote unquote be myself. And because of that, he told me he doesn't care what other people think of me. For me to just stay focused and keep doing what I was doing. And since then, that's what I've been doing. I've had my ups and downs. He knows all about that. And if not, most of the downs is what's making me stronger. And me being able to express myself the way that I have all these years is an accomplishment, so to speak. So I'm proud to even say that.
Well, before we go any further, man, I have to say thank you. You're a former U.S. Army vet.
Yes, I am.
I say thank you for your service. As an American, we appreciate that. And I have to ask because I seen him. You sent me this on Instagram. One of my favorite Florida wrestlers you've had an opportunity to go up against. He is Cha Charlie. So, can you talk to us about your experience with that over the top man? I guess he brings the excitement to the ring. How did that all play out for you? Did you beat him at all? What's the record? What's the event like?
To me, well, for me, that was a once in a lifetime opportunity that presented itself in front of me. It wasn't a match that I was going into to begin with. During pro wrestling, there's a pro wrestling events. There's times when there's guys that don't show up at all, and I believe one of an opponent that he was gonna go up against didn't show up, and Rudy saw an opportunity and actually gave it to me, and I worked with it. And to be honest, that was one of the best matches I've had in throughout my career in pro wrestling. And the audience, the crowd loved it. They were into it, and that was a match that I'll never forget.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, Rudy.
Yeah, just kind of like piggyback off that. So, and it's strange too because we were running a venue in South Texas, and the owner of the venue pulled me aside and said, on the flyer, Sabino's picture is front and center, right on top, and it has his rainbow flag and all that stuff. And so the owner of the venue guy said, I'm not telling you to take this guy off, but can you not have all that rainbow stuff? And I'm like, that's my guy, right. That's my. And he said, well, he goes, it's not me. He's a nice guy too. He goes, it's not me. One of our members kind of made a comment about it, and I said, I 100% support my talent. I'm not going to tell him to change, And so the guy was like, well, okay, what's best, let's see what happens. So, a guy didn't show up. So, Sabino's been with me for about 6 years or so.
Okay.
And I'm a total believer in, iron sharpens iron and giving guys opportunities, to work with better talent that will help make them better. And so I just said, hey, so so-and-so didn't show up, so you're with Charlie. And Charlie's a sweetheart, man. Very nice kid. Easy to work with. I mean, I did a clinic in Florida a few years ago, and he was one of the students in that clinic. And he told me, he goes, you don't remember me from, I think it was Coastal Wrestling or something. I said, no. He goes, I was there when you came into the clinic and stuff. And I've been wanting to come down here for a long time. So him and Sabino had their match. And the same lady that had her concerns showed up with like 3 or 4 kids or whatever. And all in all, there's probably about 15, 20 kids in the audience. But just about every one of those kids was flying around the rainbow flag and chanting Sabino's name and stuff. And, none of that stuff made a difference to them. They just want to see a good wrestling match. Yes, him and Charlie did have a good match. And I plan on bringing Charlie back again and having some kind of revenge match or some type, with Sabino. But yeah, that's, and the reason why I brought Sabino on here was because, I know me, for example, I take for granted the opportunities that I get, and being on shows, but Sabino is with he's at training every day, and he reminds me that not everybody has it like me. And he's a hardworking kid. He does everything that I ask him to, and then some. I mean, loyalty, the whole 9 yards. And but there's he's battling stuff that I don't deal with, and I will never, I've never dealt with, but I know he does. And so he's always just being there training every day. He's a reminder that, of what we do and why we do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for continuing your the art of wrestling. I'm the type of guy that you got to give guys chances. You got to give people chances because why judge people? So I'm glad that Rudy gave you a chance. I'm glad you're still with him, and maybe when I get to Texas, if I ever get to Texas, I can meet you personally, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. So can you discuss the origin of Flame of Texas and El Exotic Mass, whatever, Verito, I guess? What's that persona? What's that all about?
The exotico.
Yeah, El Exotico Mas.
Did you call him a burrito?
I called you a burrito.
El exótico más favorito.
Yeah,
burrito.
So when it comes to pro wrestling, I've been recently experiencing a lot of lucha libre. Okay. So lucha libre is more of the Spanish wrestling that I'm performing with, and with them I picked up calling myself El exótico más favorito de tu papá, which translates in English, I'm your dad's favorite wrestler.
Okay.
So when it comes to lucha libre and a lot of the lucha libre promotions, they'll put me on their card and they like what I do in the ring. And I with that being said, like I've also been helped with other exoticos. Exoticos are exotic wrestlers, gay wrestlers. Some may be drag queens, some may be more like me, who kind of confuse the crowd, if that makes sense, men or women. And that's why I call myself El Exótico Más Favorito. I'm the most favorite compared to the others. Flame of Texas, I'm a self-proclaimed flame, meaning a flaming queen from the gay community who's in pro wrestling.
Okay.
So with that being said, I ran with that. I used to, if you can see on my face, I choose the rainbow face paint because to me that symbolizes the fire in my eye, the fire inside that I have with all the stuff that I deal with, all the stuff that I struggle with. This is a reminder that, hey, I can still be who I am and showcase that in pro wrestling, in lucha libre, and still be successful and try to go beyond that.
Awesome. So my next question would be, what is the catchphrase, feel the heat, mean to you, and how has it evolved?
Feel the heat?
Yeah.
Well, to some, it can be feeling the heat when I come out from the ring, from the entrance. A lot of let's just say some men will catcall me and whistle at me because they think I'm hot. Then so be it. Some women do the same thing too. So it's always a mixed emotions between the crowd. But I'm strictly gay. Feeling the heat also can represent what I do in the ring. Whether you hate me, whether you love me, you're gonna feel what I did in that ring.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Rudy, you got anything, man?
Just again, just to piggyback off what he said. It's amazing how people know what wrestling is about, and it's amazing when Sabino comes out to the ring. It's very obvious that, but the men are cheering and whistling and catcalling just as much as the female are. and I'm in the back. I do music and I make the announcements, but I'm in the back and I look at the I look at the guys and I'm laughing because it's like these guys are walking around, acting tough and stuff, but when Sabino comes out to the ring, they're the loudest ones, and I just like shake my head, you know. Yeah, my wrestling events are family shows. I mean, I don't, I had a show, I ended up canceling it because of low ticket sales, but the main event was two hardcore guys, and one of the guys said, "Are you going to announce this as a death match?" And I said, "No. Death means to me someone's going to die. I don't want no one coming to my shows thinking they're going to see someone die, or any kind of connotation of that. I have a family show, and so the idea was they were going to go out there and old school Bruiser Brody, Terry Gordy, punch, kick, fight, brawl across the arena and stuff. But number one, first and foremost, is I have family shows, man. And like we just did a show Saturday at a church and in the parking lot right in our gym. Didn't charge nothing, didn't ask for no money out of it. We just wanted to be part of the festival. And there are kids around the ring, man. They, not I'm sure not to, beat up one of the wrestlers, but she just wanted to get in the ring. That's what we do, our family shows. And it's 2025. Sabino's part of that family. He creates that family aura, that family environment, whatever you want to call it. And he adds to it. So, it's just funny to see the men, the dads, leaning and making comments also.
So you have a fan on the show already. He's like, Chris Schneider says, Sabino, you are an awesome, never change, buddy. So thank you, Chris, for stopping on the show. Hit the follow button, go to the YouTube channel, Huge Pop Entertainment, and subscribe and hit the follow button there to stay up to date with all the wrestling shows.
Thank you, Chris.
We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have wrestling interview shows. We're loaded to the max, so we're doing some good stuff. And thanks for Sabino for being on here. So, all right, I'm going to ask in front of the boss, man. Rudy's the boss man here, and talk to me about your matches or match that you've had with Micah Madrid.
Well, let's just say me and her have had a rivalry throughout the years. I won the women's championship from her, but like what Rudy said before, iron sharpens iron when it comes to us wrestlers. And with her, she's always showed me what it takes to be a pro wrestler inside the ring in what we do. And because of that, me and her have very good matches. In the very beginning, they weren't, but if you see our recent matches, we connect. We have a very good chemistry together inside the ring, and we do. As a matter of fact, this past the Zion Church show, the Fall Festival, I had a match with her, and the crowd was a bunch of kids to begin with. But when me and her got in the ring, which was later on the card, more of the adults moved in. I noticed that when we wrestled. So what we did in the ring brought in more of that attention, and it's because of our chemistry together. Yeah. And to be honest, she's one of the tough girls that I've ever worked with. And she's helped me out a lot in what I do now in pro wrestling.
So we're sticking with rivalries, right?
Yeah.
If I can say this name right, Toscana. Toscana. You have a rivalry with him?
Toscana.
That's actually a female.
Okay. So
I don't have a feud with her. I wrestled her maybe once. but I believe Micah does. Micah's the one that has the feud with her.
So do you have any feuds with anybody going on right now that you would care to share about?
Current feud, there's a couple of times I'll run into JLP every now and then. For some reason that name bothers me every now and then, and he knows why. Um, Besides that, like I said, Michael Madrid. I have in Lucha Libre, when I go to Houston, there's Fuerza Divina, who I've been having a few confrontations with. A couple of times with Larry Miranda. Besides that, it's a lot of the exoticos from Mexico.
Rudy?
Um,
I think you had a couple of matches with Pimpinela also, correct?
Pimpinela, I've tagged with her. Um, that within itself, she's a legend in lucha libre. If not all over the world. I've had the opportunity to work alongside her a couple of times in lucha libre as my tag partner. She's given me a lot of advice. She's helped me out in a lot of things that I do in pro wrestling to enhance who I am as an exotico in pro wrestling. So maybe someday I'll have a match with her. That would be an opportunity for me to work with someone like her.
Awesome, yeah. So what are your goals and aspirations for the future? Are you going to travel over to Mexico and do AAA, WWE, AEW? Is there any big plans?
Oh, to me, all pro wrestlers want to get to the big stage, which is either WWE, AEW, or something to that level. But a lot of us do travel and get the experience first until we make noise, so to speak, and get our name out there in hopes that maybe an opportunity will come by. And for me, being who I am, representing the LGBT, I know it's kind of hard to push that onto wrestling organizations, but if it works, it works. There's a lot of them out there, but I plan to be one of the best, if not the top stars of LGBT in a big promotion someday.
Do you have any dream opponents, either in Texas or beyond?
Dream opponents, like I said earlier, Pimpinela would be a great opponent. Sunny Kiss, I've seen them transition into who she is now. That would be an awesome match in the future. Anybody from AEW, that I see a lot of stuff going on there. WWE, I mean, there's a bunch of dream matches I would love to have, but most importantly, I would love to be in a match with a lot of the LGBT stars that are shown on TV. That would be cool.
So I researched and I've seen that some of your mentors are like Tom Pritchard and Medusa.
Honestly, yes.
What are some
what was that?
What are the greatest lessons you've learned from those people?
A lot. Rudy too is one of them, but most of the time, when I've talked to them, they've always said just be yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Be who you are. Express yourself in the ring. Be pretty and kick some butt.
All right, Rudy.
So, so once again, to piggyback off of Sabino, so like he was saying earlier was when he started, and it's not just him; it's a lot of kids when they're in their own little head, they're in their shell. And so I happened to have Tom Pritchard come down for a clinic, and we started doing promos. And Sabino was just lost in his promo. He just didn't know what to say. He didn't know how to act. He didn't know how to care. He didn't know anything. He just And so we stood there. Tom was like, "You're not going to leave until." And we stood there for about 10 minutes, and then finally I showed Tom a TikTok video that Sabino did on his own time. Nothing to do with wrestling. He just went on TikTok and did his thing. And so I showed Tom. I'm like, this is that guy. So Tom looked at it and he goes, "Why can't you do this right now?" And so Sabino's like, "Well, and Tom, and like Sabino just said, Tom just told him is what I've been telling him also is just be yourself, man. Just go out there, just say whatever you feel like saying." And so he started doing promos and stuff, and he does them now, and it takes getting comfortable, but like you said, I mean, I tell all my students just be who you are, man. Don't try and be somebody you're not, because people will see through it, and you'll be looked at as being phony. And I mean, he's a walking, talking character, I mean, and he really is, uh, I I don't know how to say it. He really does live that lifestyle, as opposed to someone who acts like they're uh, gay or whatever. He really is, and he really lives it. And he when we do the gay pride shows, uh, one we did last year, um, somebody made a bomb threat at the gay pride festival, and I've been at stuff like that before, because I kind of like laughed it off, and but then when I looked around and I looked at Sabino, and he was nervous, and the other guys that I had on the show that were of that of LGBTQ, they were nervous. They were literally shaking. They were scared. Um, so like I said earlier, I have Sabino with me every day, and he reminds me that things that I take for granted, you know, and they have other struggles that they have.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, man. Now Rudy talked you up like you could cut a promo.
How did
So
what?
Rudy talked you up like you could cut a promo. So how about cutting a promo on Micah Madrid?
All right. Michael Madrid, you walk around here like you're the toughest diva that everybody's ever seen, honey. But you already know you stepped in the ring with me, and I've taken a championship from you a couple of times. But how about you put all your titles on the line, all your beauty, all your makeup, all whatever it is that you got, honey, because I believe I can take that from you, and you know that. So make all the little statements you want, honey. I'm still gonna make you feel that heat.
All right, there you go. Thanks, man. That was all Rudy's fault, right? Because he
Yeah,
set you up.
that's your fault, Rudy. Wait till you get home.
So,
Oh, he's probably already home.
yeah. So you've held titles: Exotic World Championship, the Undisputed Championship, Wrestling Championship. What do all those mean to you?
The Exotic World Championship to me is a huge achievement that a promoter decided to have a championship like this to be even displayed in his promotion. And for something like that, to me, it's considered a championship for the gay division. Um, Anyone in the LGBTQ can challenge me for it, but there's very few of us. So because I'm the first ever to hold this championship means a lot to me. And if you look, as a matter of fact, it's right here behind me. If you look at it, it's if you look at it, it's rainbow colored. So
Yeah.
you can see like rainbow on it. To me, that's very special because of where I came from in the gay community, and to me, that's rare. And if I'm able to do that in the independent level, I wish maybe I could do that in a bigger platform, bigger promotion, so to speak.
That's awesome.
Other than that, the winning a women's championship was something that I wanted to have. No man ever wants a women's championship. At least none that I know in the business, unless you're gay. A lot of other gay guys have won other women's championships elsewhere, but me, as Sabino Blaze, winning a women's championship in the state of Texas is frowned upon. It's to be honest, there was a lot of backlash because of it, because of me being a male, winning a women's championship, not once, but twice. And to some, it's a joke. I don't know if, because it's Rudy's promotion, it was his women's belt. I don't know how much backlash he got. He could probably explain on his part of wrestling. But with me, I had no choice but to hold either a women's championship or this exotic championship and do something with it so that these fans can understand why I wanted them to begin with, or why I have them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Rudy.
So, yeah, I got backlash. So I have the Texas women's title, and different females have held it, and Micah was holding on to it for a while, and so just to push the envelope a little bit, I guess I put. I mean, promoters are doing intergender matches, which I really don't agree with. Um, but this is a little different, I guess. So, unbeknownst to Sabino, um, Micah and Sabino were in a match, and um, I just pulled Micah to the side, and I said, when he goes to pin you, don't kick out. And so, he went to go pin her, and she didn't kick out. He's the new Texas Women's Champion, and it was a moment. It was, it was a moment for him. The fans reacted in a positive way, um, and we were off and running. I uh, like you said, no one of all the women's titles here in Texas. I don't know about anywhere else, but of all the women's titles, all the promotions here in Texas, um, Sabino's the only male women's champion, and I think he's won the belt twice.
Wow.
And the backlash I got was from other wrestlers, which is weird because there's a lot of wrestlers here that claim to be, in supportive of LGBTQ and what have you, but their actions don't support that. The fans, on the other hand, they don't care. He's a champion. When he lost it, people were pissed. People were angry. I mean, it's gone back and forth to other people. When he gets the belt back again, they're happy. You know, uh, so I mean, I don't mind pushing the envelope. I mean, again, we're in 2025. So, and then back in, I don't know, 90s or whatever, China was held the Intercontinental title. So, it's just, I'm not saying you got to do this all the time, or with everybody, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to try something different,
Yeah.
and as long as it makes sense, it'll work. I'll tell everybody that as long as it makes sense, it'll work.
Chris comes in with another thing. First time I met Micah, I asked her if her belt was for sale. She told me, "Hell no, that's my championship belt." LOL. Um, Rudy's sitting right next to you, man. He's the promoter. I loved what you said in that promo. Micah, put up all those belts and all your makeup. And Rudy, you need to make that happen. You were just talking about this that you wanted to put on a show. You need to make that happen. I'm just saying.
We shall see.
You got to give our
Make what
guest what
happen.
he's asking for. Get Micah, get Sabino in the match. All of Micah's belts, all her makeup, all her girly stuff. Put it all on the line. If Mike is so, I guess we could talk to Mike about this in a couple of weeks when she's on the show.
And if she wants, and if you want to, go ahead and we'll throw in my makeup, my girly stuff.
What a hell of a match, man! They don't call me the spot stir for a reason, so I'm just gonna say I think that's a hell of a match.
Micah don't come cheap. I'll tell you that. Micah doesn't come cheap. I'll tell you that right now, man. She's she wants to get paid. but I'm and it's just a matter of availability and of course dollars make, but I'm looking at bringing in some people like Sunny Kiss and people like that. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff at all. It's just a matter of, on my end, it's just a matter of dollars and cents.
Right. So you had a match against Cash Money. Looking back at that, what stands out about that match you had with Cash Money?
Honestly, I didn't know who he was until I got there. Having a match with him, I guess he's been in the business for a couple of years, so our chemistry in the ring was not that bad. He tends to cheat a lot in the ring. He's well known for his tag partner, I believe Sideshow was his name. He was there in our match, interfering when he could. The fans were getting upset because of it. They kicked him out, and then during the end of the match, Cash Money shoves the referee down, so he goes ahead and disqualifies him, and I win the match. The fans cheer for me. Then his tag partner comes out and attacks me, so they both attacked me. So to me, that's just, cheap shots, and they couldn't do it one-on-one. To me, that's pathetic, but that's the very first time I ever met him.
Wow. So you talked to us about your feud with Mooncat and anything else going on with that?
I've had a couple of matches with Mooncat. He's not a part of the LGBT, but he is flamboyant in his own way. He's very has that 70s feel. The fans are in love with him, and then when I come down there, because he's from the RGV, Rio Grande Valley area, and when I come down there, the fans don't know who to cheer for. They just enjoy the match, and there's I believe he's won once, also in a disqualification. We've had a count out once, and then I beat him in another match. So, there's something there too. He knows it.
All right. Rudy.
So without me being present, what do you see yourself doing for 2026? What do you want for 2026?
Me, what do I see myself doing? Continuing being the first of something new within pro wrestling. Winning other championships and other promotions, possibly winning more men's titles, because I am also I'm striving for stuff like that. I've already won the women's championship, so to me, that's an accomplishment already achieved. Defending my exotic world championship, to whoever steps up to the plate. I'm looking forward to making my name heard wherever possible, especially in towns that don't appreciate or approve of me, and then they change their mind after they see me. Shoot, I don't mind traveling even in other states, wherever I have to go to make myself present and known. That's my goal.
So when you're in the ring, what's your mindset? Do you prefer a high flying approach, or do you feel more physical approach?
I'm trained more with the old school Texas wrestling, like mat wrestling, using psychology or whatnot. But then I also have a little bit of high flying lucha libre mixed in between, depending on who I'm going up against.
All right. So who is the biggest star that you've ever came in the ring with? That you either
Honestly, besides, well, Pimpinella to me is a huge megastar, um, coming from the Mexican culture, lucha libre side. Um, in America or here in my hometown, Quincy Elliott was another guy that I tagged with. As a matter of fact, about a year ago during Halloween, we had a show and I was his tag partner. That to me gave me so much motivation because of who he was in a bigger promotion. And we've had our a little talk about that and what I need to do to get to the next level. And he too as well just said, just stay being yourself. Look at me. He talked about his look, his character, and he was still put on TV. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
regardless of what people said about him or him being gay or whatever. And to me, that motivated me to want to do the same thing. I can do the same thing,
Absolutely.
and we'll see what happens.
So as a graduate of Texas Wrestling Academy, how do you feel the current state of wrestling in Texas indie wrestling is? Where do you see that? Are you guys in a good space?
Indeed, to me, I see there's so many of us trying to do the same thing. There's a lot of guys and girls and gay individuals trying to make a name. And to me being one of the independent wrestlers doing what I do, making the noise that I'm doing, I've had some gay individuals who are in pro wrestling who have heard of me before, who have who sometimes look up to me and they'll send me messages and they look up to me and they start doing, they don't do the rainbow face paint, but they'll have like a little bit of a glitter streak, or they started putting eyelashes on or something to their representation of who they are as a gay person. And to me, I mean, if I'm able to do that, that's awesome. So in the independent scene, it's all over the place, but you gotta separate yourself from everyone else. And how are you gonna do that? Everybody has their different ways. Mine's representing the rainbow symbol on my face and showing what I got in the ring.
Rudy, got any more questions?
No, but I do have an announcement to make. So every year there's this huge event on the out of North Carolina, South Carolina, that are Winston Salem, called WrestleCade, and Micah is signed to be at the WrestleCade, um, November 29th and 30th.
Okay.
But also Sabina will be at WrestleCade as well,
All right.
November 29th and 30th. So that's another way of him just getting his face out there and people knowing who he is. And so if you're out there at WrestleCade, say hi, get a picture, graph, chat, whatever. To me, we also do the River City Con in St. Augustine, Florida, another big WrestleCon deal. So if anyone ever sees these guys, Sabino or Micah or any of the TWA guys, take a picture, say hi, talk to him for a while.
Yeah. So are you going to bring Sabino to the River City WrestleCon in June?
I think we've talked about it. I mean, me and Sabino know, but me and the promoters have. We've talked about it. So, I mean, it's still like a whole 6-7 months away. So,
Right.
you know, when we can figure out the numbers and all that stuff, we'll
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do.
I just mentioned because I went to the River City WrestleCon 2 years ago. I had a blast, and I'm bringing Huge Pop Entertainment back there. So Sabino, man, if you're there, man, I'd love to meet you, you know, and shoot the shit, man, and catch up.
For sure, definitely. That'd be
So
awesome.
I got 2 questions. Then we can be done. All right. So I've in your journey, you've used this statement. I had to. Can you elaborate what that means when you have to say I had to? If you know what I'm trying to say, stand out because I had to.
The reason why I said that I had to, because regardless of me being in a shell that I was when I started compared to now, I had to represent myself the way that I am and ignore the negative noise, the he said, she said, whatever, or anybody who is against LGBT individuals. I had to stand out in my own way to show that representation. And just because I represent the rainbow LGBT doesn't mean that I gotta let everybody know about what it stands for when it comes to a man and a man. That has nothing to do with pro wrestling. My representation for it is me giving hope to other individuals like myself who want to pursue pro wrestling and get big and be successful in this business.
Was there ever a spot in your career that
What
you
was
said? Was there ever a spot in your career that you said I'm done, but changed your mind and you're thankful that you didn't quit?
there's been there's been plenty of times that's crossed my mind from the very beginning when I first started training. I at the time I told my mother that I wanted to join pro wrestling and become something with it, because at that point in my life I didn't know where I was at, where I was going. There was personal struggles I was going through that my mom understood. And at that time, when I first started training in 2018, November, 2 months after I started training, she passes away. She passed away due to cancer. So to me, that took away a lot of who I was, my comfortability
Yeah.
within the ring, or me wanting to do anything. And then I just wanted to give up. And I honestly told myself, and I believe I told Rudy, that, hey, I need time off, quote unquote, time off. And I didn't know if I was going to come back, but I made him think that I was. And he knew where I was going with it. And he told me not to. He told me, don't give up on anything. And because he told me that, I chose to continue wrestling, continue training. The tears, the blood, and everything that I went through just in the ring, I stayed stronger. It helped me become stronger, and I never gave up after that.
I appreciate that story because my mom 2 years ago this month passed away of cancer. She lost her fight with cancer,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
and we went up in October. We went up in September and seen her for the last time, and she said to me, she goes, "You better never give that podcast up." I enjoyed watching it. Da, 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 da. She gave me this whole big speech, and I hear that all the time because there's times I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You. But I will say this, Rudy, man, he said this. The last 3 weeks, I either had a stomach ache or or I had some bad stuff happening, and Rudy goes, "We got this." So I had Rudy, my wife. My wife is a huge supporter of the podcast. She hates wrestling, hates it, can't stand it. She'll tell you wrestling's fake as fuck, is what she says. And but I have. So I say this because I'm glad you have people in your life that encourage you to stay going, because it sounds like you have a great career, right? It's not. And if it wasn't for people in our lives that share their passion with each other, it's easy to give up. But I'm thankful that you didn't give up. So I just have to say that. I got some questions my kids ask. Okay, let's shoot questions real quick. All right, favorite food?
Italian.
You like pizza?
Pasta.
No pizza?
Pizza, yes, if it's the oven baked.
Does pineapple belong on that pizza?
To me, I will say yes, because I lived in Hawaii and that's where I experienced pineapple on pizza, and it was awesome.
Okay. Chair shot or stepping on Legos? What do you like? What would you prefer?
I've never stepped on Legos, and I have taken a chair shot, so I'm still alive. So I guess I will pick a chair shot.
So have you ever I don't know, we were in McDonald's line about a month ago in the drive-thru, and one of the older kids goes, "Have you ever met anybody that cut a promo while ordering their food in the drive-thru?"
What the heck?
So yeah, while ordering your food, do you ever cut a promo?
I have not. That's something interesting. I probably will try.
Yeah. Cut the promo you cut on Mike in that while you're ordering your McDonald's Happy Meal. I don't know. So my last question I have for you, man. What's next for Sabino Blaze? Rudy asked that. What are your ultimate goals in wrestling? Whether it's more championships, working for a major promotion, or something entirely different?
Honestly, working for a major promotion at some point in my career. I mean, that's what we're all here for. That's what we're all training for, is to get to that next level, whether it's TV or whatnot, to get to that point. I would love to be on TV. Who wouldn't?
That's right. That's right. Rudy, you have anything final to say? Let the fans know who's next on the Huge Pop Entertainment Drop the Mic Mondays.
Sure. Next week we have the one and only former WWE superstar, Rodney Mack. He'll be live and in color with us next week, Scott.
Damn.
Yeah. I gotta share a story. You'll like this one. I told Rudy off camera, but we had Buff Bagwell on the show last Thursday.
Also, real quick, if I can, November 1st, we're going to really quick. We're going to be in Magnolia, Texas, Saturday, November 1st, for a Day of the Dead celebration at the Julio's Mexican Bar and Grill. Bell time is 6 p.m. and Sabino's going to be defending, I believe, his Exotico Mundo Campeonato, whatever it's called, Saturday night. And then Micah, I believe, will be defending her Diva Tejana championship title as well. That's Saturday night.
I see opportunities, Sabino.
Uh-oh.
Micah's going to be in the same area.
We'll see.
You win your match. You interfere in her match.
And win that title.
And win that title. And that makeup.
We shall see.
So, Huge Pop Wrestling Entertainment.
When we're all together, I got to be in the middle refereeing to keep them apart.
So,
yep.
So Huge Pop Entertainment. So Mike, I called you Micah. See.
Can I add one last thing to say at the end?
Yes, sir.
Since your podcast is called what? Drop the Mic, right?
Yes, sir.
I just want to let everybody know in the gay community, my personal friends, my family, especially all the fans that follow Sabino Blaze wherever, just know that every single day I will add a little bit more fuel to the fire that I'm building. And when the time is right, I'm going to light that match. Boom. That's a blaze for you.
You heard it. Sabino Blaze. Do not go anywhere, Sabino. I want to talk to you off camera, okay?
Okay.
So, Sabino Blaze, you heard it. He's going to drop the boom. All right? Be ready. Micah, be ready. Who knows? I don't know if Rudy can handle it. Anyways, it's been huge.
Can you handle that heat?
So Huge Pop Entertainment. It was been a blast talking to Sabino Blaze. He just said it. Beware. Look out for him. Uh-oh, somebody popped in. I mean, look, Chris Schneider even says, hell yeah. So you got enough going on. You got enough people wanting this match, Rudy. And Sabino Blaze don't bring the smoke. He brings the fire, right? He brings the heat.
Yes, sir.
And so anyways, Huge Pop Entertainment friends, thank you for joining in. Thank you, Chris Snyder. Go follow us on Facebook. Go follow us on YouTube. We got a great thing going on Monday nights. Drop the mic. Again, Sabino Blaze, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck in your title runs. And thank you for sharing your story. Huge Pop Wrestling Entertainment people, you know it. We are for life.